What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with another episode of Testing Grounds, where we take new archetypes and new decks that a new set will give us, and then we kind of try to build some rough ideas around these decks, so we can quickly test out and see what's good and what's not. So here for our first batch of Steam Siege decks that we're going to be taking a look at, we have myself playing Mega Gardevoir on the left, the new one from Steam Siege, and then Marcus is actually playing the new Volcanion EX deck over there on the right. And unfortunately, Marcus won't be joining us for the commentary on this one. He's picked up like 2 extra jobs lately, so he's been super busy. But nevertheless, we did get to play these games out and at least record them for you. But, but anyway, so here he has the Baby Volcanion on the bench. For you guys who aren't aware what it does, it's a new card from Steam Siege. It has an attack kind of similar to Oblivion Wing meets Geomancy. So it's kind of a hybrid of the attack from Yveltal and Xerneas. But for a single fire energy, it does 20 damage. And you can accelerate an energy out of your discard, or a fire energy, I should say, to 2 of your benched Pokemon. So that's kind of cool. And here, luckily, he does get a Floatstone down on that Entei, and we're just going to see an N, which is a little annoying because I did have a Hoopa EX in my hand that was going to allow me to really quickly start to get set up here. But the Gardevoir list I'm playing actually has a very similar setup engine to Mega Rayquazas, so it's usually pretty consistent. You normally don't have dead hands. Okay, and here, I'm really not sure what all Marcus is trying to hit. I did see a Fury Belt in that Trainer's Mail. Okay, he's opting for the Scorched Earth, which seems perfectly fine though, since that will allow him to start putting those fire energies into the discard to later get out with the Baby Volcanion. So that's fine. Yep. Discards the fire energy to draw 2 cards with the Scorched Earth. Okay, and that looks like it's it. So here, luckily, we did hit an Ultra Ball off that end. Definitely getting rid of Enhanced Hammer. Total dead card in this matchup. So we have Hoopa. We can probably grab ourselves a couple Gardevoirs and a Shaman to keep drawing some additional cards. Let's see. I don't know why I'm evaluating my hand. I think Shaman's definitely the right way to go here. I guess I'm just double checking, just trying to be safe, make sure I don't make any dumb, careless mistakes. Okay, and here we'll be able to put down a Sky Field, and that'll let us, start benching a lot of these bench sitter Pokemon like Hoopa and Shaman. That we can kind of aggressively do this, unlike a lot of decks, since Mega Gardevoir can actually discard them. Because Mega Gardevoir does have that attack that lets you discard your bench Pokemon to do extra damage, so it's really nice to be able to play all these extra Hoopas and Shamans that you normally wouldn't be able to. Here looks like we're just eyeing down an N. That seems perfectly fine to me. In hindsight, maybe I could have taken the Puzzle of Time potentially, because that way we could have double puzzled for an Ultra Ball the next turn and something else, and that way we could have gotten a Hoopa and maybe some Mega Gardevoirs as well. But felt like the N was the right play. But unfortunately, this hand is disgustingly bad. Typically, you never see these types of decks with this engine draw dead like that, so I was not happy to see that. Hopefully Marcus plays an N and bails me out here. But here he does get down the big Volcanion EX, and here I'm kind of scared because he actually will be able to take a knockout with this Entei if he can Blacksmith successfully. Yeah, here he is putting Blacksmith and the 2 fires in the discards. That kind of tells me he has it. I totally forgot about Entei's attack. Entei has that Combat Blaze attack, does 20 plus 20 more for every bench Pokemon your opponent has. So, to be honest, I do think that was maybe a misplay going that aggressively, benching all that stuff. I think I may have been better to hold that third Gardevoir and getting the extra puzzle of time to use for the following turn. I think that might have been a little bit better since I did neglect to realize what Entei did. It's not a card we're used to seeing all the time, so. And here he does bump my Skyfield, which is fine. We have another one in hand. Yeah, and we see Marcus finally starting to get a little set up, getting those big Volcanion EXs down on the board. But who knows, even if I hadn't benched the extra Gardevoir, he may have been actual. Yeah, he had a Fire Energy in hand to use Volcanion EX's Steam Up to get a knockout either way. So I guess either way, it didn't matter too much if I had benched that extra Gardevoir. Okay. We're just going to see another Scorched Earth. And there is a blank card in Marcus's hand. It's just, it was a proxy. I forgot my extra copy of Volcanion, the baby one, so we just had to improvise and use a backwards card as a proxy. Yeah, and here I was just showing Marcus how god awful this hand is. It's so weird. I don't think I've ever played a game with Mega Rayquaza, like, or a deck with this engine where I've had a hand like this, which is very unfortunate. Because we do want to get good games recorded for you guys, but at the same time, we do need to record any downsides and hiccups in the list too. So, you know, that's one thing that's good about these testing rounds videos. They're very authentic. These are, in most cases, our first builds of these archetypes, our first times playing them, so you get to see all of the mistakes that we make when learning these decks, and in building them too. So, okay, and here we're going to see a Hex, and that'll prevent us from drawing out of this horrible hand if we do hit a Shaman or a Hoopa. And unfortunately, we hit an Ultra Ball. God, that is so unfortunate. Yeah, if we weren't hexed, we would actually have a really great hand, because we'd be able to get out Hoopa EX, which would get us a couple Mega Gardevoirs and a Shaman, and we'd be able to draw out of this mess and really start getting set up in the way that we want to. So here I can either get out a Mega Gardevoir and start attacking, or I can opt to save the Ultra Ball for next turn. Because the problem is right now, if we Mega Evolve, because we do have the Spirit Link, and we have enough stuff in hand to be able to attack. The problem is he can potentially knock us out with Volcanion EX on the following turn. So we're just opting for Gardevoir EX's attack Life Leap. It does 20 damage and it lets us heal 20 from ourselves as well. So here we are still a little bit in danger of being knocked out. It just depends. If he can get this Volcanion EX powered up and into the active spot, we might have a bit of a hard time, I won't lie. So here we're seeing a Shaman come down. Marcus might be digging for some sort of switching card. Like an AZ or something. Potentially. So, let's see what he ends up doing here. Well, he still has a pretty full hand. He's going to have to play down some cards to really draw out. Oh, okay. Was that just 2? Okay, so we still get a couple extra cards. Not sure what he's going to do from there. He does have a Blacksmith in hand, so he can start powering up another Volcanion. Or he can just Blacksmith to the active and then just do 100 damage and set up that Gardevoir for a 2-shot. Or he can just use Volcanion's first attack. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. Here we'll just see a Scorched Earth and now a Trainer's Mail. So he does have AZ in his hand. Here he does get rid of the Spirit Link. In hindsight, I maybe could have saved the Spirit Link in hand, but we do still have another one. Okay, so we're just going to see an energy come down onto his big powered up Volcanion EX down there, so he's definitely going to be threatening us with a knockout. Okay, so here we are going to finally be able to use this Ultra Ball. Okay, so we can get rid of a Fairy Energy and a Trainer's Mail. It seems fine to me, because we can just Mega Turbo that same energy in just a second. So we're going to grab Hoopa, grab us a Mega Gardevoir. Oh yeah, gotta get the full art one, definitely. So that seems pretty decent to me. And I'm not too worried, even though we discard that Spirit Link. We actually do play 4 in this list, so we might be able to hit another one as well. So we'll Mega Turbo, probably bench that other Gardevoir, and then that Shaman. Unfortunately, no Spirit Link. That is a little annoying. So here, unfortunately, I have to waste a Sacred Ash on a single Shaman EX. And here we'll Ultra Ball those away. I'm really not sure what I'm digging for. Maybe a Lysander? Oh yeah, because I still haven't played an actual draw supporter for the turn yet. Okay, and we do hit another Spirit Link, so that's cool. That'll let us get that down. So Trainer's Mail. Okay, there we have an N in hand. We also have AZ, so we could reuse AZ to pick up a Shaman and keep drawing more cards. But N seems fine to me. That'll let us put him down at 4 cards, since he did knock out our Shaman on the second turn of the game there. So really I'm trying to think, what else we really need for this turn? Luckily we haven't used any of our Puzzles of Time, so that will let us reuse things like Mega Turbo and such. We draw one of them, but I really think we're pretty good now. And I could be mistaken, but I may have double attached this turn and not even realized it. Because I know I'm Mega Turboed, but I think I may have attached a Fairy from hand in the same turn. I could be wrong. But I feel like I may have. I'm not sure. But here, I was able to retreat into the fresh Mega Gardevoir. Here we're just going to discard some Hoopas and Shaman with Despair Ray. And I did opt to keep the one Hoopa on the bench, because that will allow us to Sacred Ash those Pokemon we discarded, and then also AZ the Hoopa to get them back out as well. So it's kind of like a risk-reward thing with this Mega Gardevoir deck, I've realized. In theory, you can discard everything, but sometimes it's nice to keep one of these bench sitters down to potentially reuse with an AZ, or maybe even bait your opponent into taking a knockout on to preserve your board state, like to prevent your attackers from being knocked out. So let's see here what Marcus does. He will be able to free retreat into probably, okay, here we're just going to see a Combat Blaze, and I guess probably the following turn we're going to see Volcanion EX swoop in and take a knockout. So here I'm really in a tough spot. You know, between my Shaman start, Marcus taking that early prize on it, and that one turn where we couldn't Ultra Ball and, start evolving and attacking when he hexed us has really put us a little behind right this time. So here we're going to double puzzle. We have so many different options. We could potentially power up another Mega Gardevoir. So maybe we could get like a Spirit Link and a Mega Turbo or something to that effect to start powering up a fresh one. Or we can maybe get a Lysander to take a knockout. And then a Mega Turbo, I guess, to power up that one on the bench. But to be honest, in hindsight, I'm not sure if Lysander was the best play or not in this situation. So we're opting for an easy prize on Shaman. But to be honest, I think Marcus's board is much better than ours at this point. And I think we should have taken an attacker instead. Just because we are really behind as far as board state. Our board's a little bit beat up, and he can kind of clean up. So we really need to get rid of all these attackers that Marcus has. Because all he has to do is retreat into this big Volcanion EX and start attacking with that. So maybe we should have Lysandered up that instead to get the first hit on it. But here, let's see, Marcus is just going to take a knockout with the Combat Blaze Entei. So yeah, I definitely think it was a bit of a misplay. I think I was just getting anxious and just thinking, man, we really need to get back in this game and catch up in the prize race. But hey, that's why we play test. Like I said, with these testing rounds videos, you're going to see all of our misplays during our testing process. And everything that goes wrong until we get the list. And a list that works good and a feel for that list. And it's very unfortunate because right now Marcus will be able to one-shot this Mega Gardevoir with his bench Volcanion EX there. And here we're going to see an N, which is we definitely need to do in order to prevent Marcus from taking a knockout. Because right now he's swinging for 150 with that bench Volcanion EX. All he has to do is hit a Fire Energy to use its attack Steam Up, and we're going to be in trouble. Because Volcanion EX has this ability that lets you discard a fire from hand, and it buffs your basic fire Pokemon's attacks by 30 damage for the turn. So all he needs is one Fire Energy, and he can do 180, which knocks out this Gardevoir. Okay, and here we just see a Mega Evolution. Yeah, unfortunately that end didn't do too much for us. And the Escape Rope in hand was pretty useless because he would probably just promoted this guy. Yep. And then he's just going to Steam Up twice and take the last two prizes. So Marcus does take the first game in the series. We're doing best out of 3. So, I guess in this matchup, you're starting to see the power of Volcanion, and actually Entei did a lot of Entei took a decent amount of prizes in that game. Volcanion EX only got that last knockout, but I still do like this Mega Gardevoir deck. It is unfortunate we had a couple rough spots there, like we drew completely dead off that first end that Marcus hit us with. Or actually, no, I was the one who ended us, I think. Yeah, that first end that I played really just put me at a horribly dead hand, which usually never happens with these super aggressive Hoopa Shaman engines. And then that turn where Marcus hexed us, I think one of the biggest turns of the game, because that really set us behind as far as attacking. And then, I just made, I think, a couple of misplays here and there. Misplayed, I think, Lysandering that Shaman EX. Probably should have saved Lysandering Shaman for maybe like the last knockout of the game or something. But that's why we do best out of 3, so maybe we'll get a little better of a start this time. So here Marcus is going to mulligan, which is a little bit odd because that Volcanion deck runs so many basics. I believe we run, was it 3 of the baby ones, 4 of the EX Volcanion, uh, a couple, I think 3 Shamans, and an Entei, so we have plenty of Pokemon in this list that we're using, so that is a little bit unusual. And unfortunately, I don't know if you guys saw, I do have to start Shaman yet again, which is really annoying because we actually play 4 Gardevoir in this list. So that is usually the Pokemon we want to start with here. But yeah, Marcus Mulligan's yet again. So I definitely don't mind that at all. That will allow us to draw some extra cards and maybe get set up just a little bit more. But honestly, on the first turn of the game, I think really all you need is 2 Gardevoirs on the field. I mean, and 1 energy attachment. So, alrighty. So we do have a Shaman in hand and a Hoopa here, but our hand is still pretty big. It's a little clogged up from all those mulligans that we took, and then the extra card for turn. So here I think I was debating, I mean I have Shaman already, do I really want anything else? I could maybe just get a 3rd Gardevoir to thin out the deck a little bit more. Yep, that seems pretty good to me. So here, have Trainer's Mail. Hopefully we can hit Ultra Ball, I think that'd be ideal. But we do hit Skyfield, so we could potentially play that down. That's fine, that'll thin our deck just a little bit more, and it'll allow us to keep benching other Shamans and Hoopa, etc. So here we see a Fairy Energy come down, and for some reason the camera on my phone, it's like stopped recording videos and immediately started re-recording. It's been doing this on a couple things. I have no idea what causes it. But here we didn't really lose any footage though. All I did was play that N that we had in our hand. So I opted to keep the Shaman that we had and just put it back in the deck to draw with later, because we really don't need it. We have a couple Gardevoirs on the field already, and we have an energy attachment down. Here we also have an Ultra Ball. To be honest, I might consider, I don't know, I guess we can play it. So here, you might just grab Shaman. Seems fine, because that let us get a Fairy Energy in the discard to use with Mega Turbo later, so that's probably actually a decent play here. Okay. So we don't have too much else we can really do this turn, so we're just going to pass it over to Marcus there. Here he has Volcanion EX, and it looks like a couple supporters, a Versus Seeker, Fire Energy. I don't know if Marcus can do much. Okay, so he did get an AZ. That's nice, and he will be able to Shaman for a couple cards. Trainer's Mail. Let's see. He has Versus Seeker. I can't tell what the other cards off that Trainer's Mail are. So he's going to grab a Blacksmith, it looks like. It's kind of interesting. I would probably prefer the Versus Seeker personally. That way he could reuse that AZ for next turn. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he has a way to get fire in the discard currently. Okay, and here, what do we do? We do have double Puzzle of Time, so that automatically gives us some options right off the bat. So we can double puzzle and get like an Ultra Ball, potentially. Maybe, I don't know what else. Trainer's Mail, oh. Okay, that seems good. This will give us an out to get like a Hoopa and some Mega Gardevoirs, and maybe a way we can get Spirit Link. So we're going to Ultra Ball, get rid of Lysander and a Fairy Energy. It seems fine to me. So we'll grab Shaman. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a Spirit Link. Otherwise, we could probably just go for like a Mega Gardevoir or a Hoopa or something. Well, actually not Hoopa, our bench is getting kind of clogged currently. So let's see here. So we're just going to end. There we go. And that hurt a little bit having to end Marcus, but we really didn't have any other options as far as getting set up there. Because we knew Marcus's hand was pretty dead, since he just AZ'd for 2 and passed. But luckily we do get a Mega Turbo. I do see that in hand. Okay, so we'll grab an Ultra Ball off the Trainer's Mail. And here we actually might be able to get a knockout if I'm not mistaken. But we will have to play down a lot of resources in order to do it. That's the only thing. So we're grabbing the Mega Gardevoir. And this is actually a really risky play that I'm going to be doing here. And then Mega Turbo. We have to play down our entire hand in order to get an attack off. And if we discard every bench Pokemon, we can do 180. Normally I wouldn't do this, but we are testing these decks, and I was telling Marcus, like, yo, YouTube probably wants to see me discard my whole bench to take a knockout. It's pretty awesome. Because Mega Gardevoir's attack does 10 more damage for every Pokemon you discard, which is just enough to take a knockout on that Volcanion. The only thing, though, it does pretty much leave us without any other options. We have to get another Sacred Ash to Sacred Ash any attackers back into our deck, but it's kind of a gamble here. We were basically banking on the fact that we're taking out the only relevant Pokemon Marcus had on his board, and if he doesn't stabilize, we can kind of take a knockout on everything else pretty easily. But we don't have a supporter. Well, we don't have a supporter that lets us draw cards, so we are definitely going to be in a tricky spot going forward. So in hindsight, to be honest, if this was a tournament, I probably would not make that type of play. But I thought it was too hilarious not to do for you guys on YouTube. And who knows? I was like, maybe I'll just be able to steamroll Marcus for the rest of the turn, since all he has is a Shaman. Here we see a baby Volcanion come down. And I'm not sure what he's considering. Okay, he's just doing Volcanion's first attack, so... And we just draw a Mega Gardevoir, so that's pretty useless. So in hindsight, we definitely should have just two-shotted that Volcanion EX. I definitely think that was a better play, but this was definitely the funnier one out of the two, I'd have to say. But anyway, so we see Marcus, he gets a Shaman. He does have some fire in the discard, if I'm not mistaken. Well, yeah, he definitely does now that he Ultra Balled those fires away off that Professor's Letter. So hopefully he can grab himself like a Volcanion EX, and maybe like a Blacksmith, and start getting another Pokemon set up. Here we see an Entei, but that's kind of useless since I just wiped out my entire bench. We do see some fire energy in hand. I'm not sure what else that he has. Looks like he has a couple options. He's taking a minute to do a play here, so he probably has something to work with. He's just contemplating what. So here he's going to get rid of the Scorched Earth and Fire to get Volcanion EX. I probably would have preferred getting rid of the Entei. That seems like a dead card right now. And here we're gonna be in trouble, big trouble actually, because he's threatening a knockout with this Entei, or not this Entei, but this Volcanion EX for the following turn. Because all he needs to do is use Volcanion's attack. Oh, okay. So Marcus actually played down his whole hand, so maybe he doesn't have many options for next turn. So here we take a knockout. If Marcus gets a fire energy, we could be in trouble. Because he'll do 140, and then all he'll need to do is do steam up. Ugh. And he hits an energy retrieval. That's oh, that's ridiculous. Off a 0 card hand, he hits a way to draw 2 fire energies. So here, unfortunately, Marcus does bench me out. And to be honest, who knows? I might have been able to do okay, for the rest of the game, since Marcus really didn't have anything to work with. But he did top deck that energy retrieval, which is super big for him there. But anyways, guys, that is the series. To be honest, it's probably not the best series to see really good, super close games between the two decks. But like I said, I want to post these videos even when misplays happen and things of that nature, because I want you guys to see, I guess, the flaws with these concepts and not only the strengths. So that's why I don't mind showing off some of my misplays that I did, and maybe, who knows, maybe the list is bad, but it's hard to say. I still really like this Mega Gardevoir deck. This is the first version that we have for it, so maybe we can test out other things like Dimension Valley as well. Or I'm not sure, but I do like it. More so after the rotation. I'll probably talk about more of that in the actual deck profile itself. Volcanion, on the other hand, does seem a little bit more solid. I think we kind of knew this was going to be a decent archetype. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this. We're definitely going to do more of these testing rounds videos in the coming weeks. Probably once a week we'll have one, and then a couple deck profiles for each deck as well. So I appreciate you guys watching. Be on the lookout for the deck profiles for both of these decks in the coming days. Feel free to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to check out our merch at rarecandytcg.com. And speaking of which, we're actually doing a sale until the end of August. So I believe all of our Night March related merchandise and the Seismitoad related merchandise, so shirts, playmats, and dice bags, are all actually discounted right now. So definitely go on there and check that out and see if there's anything you want to pick up. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you for the next one, okay?